welcome back to Timeless Conversations, a channel where we talk about life and adulting,
the ups,
the downs, and everything
in between.
My name is Aisha.
My name is Robinah.
And my name is Sharon. So today on Timeless Conversations, we're going to talk about, something that tends to be touchy. Those touchy topics that people don't talk about, either they avoid them, or when they talk about them, it can be attack mode. Yes. So we want to talk about financial transparency in relationships. So we want to know, not just in marriage, but even when you're dating, like when you're in a relationship that you feel is, committed. And to start us off, ladies, what do you think is the point in a relationship that one should, disclose their financial, status, like how much they earn, that kind of thing? Should they even, or it should be private info, not disclosing?
For starters, me, I don't believe in it.
In not disclosing or in disclosing?
I don't believe in disclosing your financials to your partner.
Even if
Voluntarily.
Oh,
it should just slip through a conversation.
Yeah. Of like, okay, I would also want to learn from this episode. What is the essence of telling your partner how much you earn? Like, does it make any difference? Is there something that you could gain from telling your partner how much you earn? Especially coming from my gender, the ones that are born to be given.
which one is our agenda?
No, but sincerely, anyway, coming from my background, first as a Muslim woman, I'm supposed to be given.
Oh,
Yes.
You never give.
By virtue of being a Muslim woman, I'm supposed to be provided for.
Programs 31 Wahana.
Of Smanya, she wakes up in the morning and takes care of Neda.
Why do you hate on programs 31 women?
I know Proverbs 31 with every single verse therein. And there are some that I subscribe to, but there are those that scream slavery that I'm not for. So really, personally, I think that everyone should be able to take care of their finances in a relationship. Like, I don't want to have this stereotypical conversation of the financial boundaries of what everyone should do, because that depends on individuals.
Definitely.
How you decide to run your relationship financial wise will dictate ultimately what you choose to do with your relationship in terms of money and all. So personally, right now I can't say, because I don't subscribe to much.
But maybe by the end of the show, you could have changed your mind.
Yes, absolutely. I want to learn with that time.
Hopefully. We shall convince you.
Please do.
For me, I think it depends on the level of the relationship. I think I would only disclose my finances to someone who has proposed to me. And we are now working towards a marriage. That's where of course, I'll test your financial temperament along the way. But because I've been a victim of disclosing my finances and it was used against me, so I think I will withhold that information until a certain time where I have known you and have determined how your response would be to what my finances look like. And also I will have known your financial temperament. How do you manage your finances as an individual? I will have seen and determined whether or not, where this relationship is going. But I think when you propose to me is when I would consider telling you my finances, because we are going into a partnership. So I do not want to be on this lane and then you're on the other one. Because we are going to be together, the Bible says the two shall become one. I feel like we should be one in every aspect. So I don't think I have a problem disclosing my finances. But like Aisha said, we are man's role is
Provide.
defined: provide, profess, and protect. So it's their role to provide, but I do not mind chipping in here and there. I do not mind to work towards the family financial goals. Yeah, for me, that's my stand. Yeah.
All right. I want to hear from you as well. What do you say?
I mean, I gravitate more towards Robinah. I also would, more like I did, not would.
You're already there.
Yes, like I did disclose, and even now, as things keep changing, I can do a status update.
Okay.
You even
Like you get a
update.
salary increment, honey. We have gotten.
About it together, maybe, because these are things
Bambi,
that...
your husband should forgive me.
Why should he forgive
I am
you?
not one that wants to have bad ways, but I'm in shock.
But probably he hopes that that way is influencing in this situation.
Ah,
So I also believe that yes, it's good to disclose the financial situation, but at a certain time. Yeah, I mean, it should be at a point when you feel like the relationship is heading somewhere.
Yeah.
And usually, I would say it's at the point when he has proposed and you're now intending to get married. And even in counseling classes, like those are conversations that they encourage, couples to have, that, talk about your finances, talk about, whether or not you have debt, because when you get married, this debt is not going to just be for your husband, it's not going to just be your debt. When they come to collect, they look at the assets of
The family.
the home, of the family, and so talk about like your debt, talk about your incomes, your investments. You guys are in
fantasy.
I know most, I think it's safe to say women don't have the same opinion, but really I feel like it's good. Because first of all, if you're planning as a family. So how are you going to plan without, disclosing? And when we say disclosing, it's not just me disclosing. He's also disclosing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think I feel you from that level.
Yes.
Of the, like, it should be mutual.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Because that way, I don't feel like you would feel bad about you not disclosing, because even the other partner is disclosing what they earn. Okay. Yeah, sounds logical.
Not practical.
When it comes to my practice, I have learned that financial transparency is not just about your earnings, but your expenses as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, for me, that is where the question comes in. If we're not building together certain projects, then I feel like there's no need that for the other person to tell me.
For example, I don't...
Like, okay, this is it. My husband and I work on certain projects together. Of like, I know whether I tell him my earnings or not, he will still contribute the biggest percentage. So why then do I feel the need to tell him how much I earn?
So how do you define what percentage who gives?
Like, these are things that are...
They're just unsaid.
They are unsaid. By default, you'll find that he will... Because he definitely...
No, like, so then how much...
He's the
like
provider, right?
He is the provider.
And the woman is the...
I'm the one that gets to be provided for.
helper.
The helper. The helping bit also comes into play. But still, like, when you look at the ratio, it doesn't match up.
Of course it doesn't. I don't think it will ever.
Sorry to cut you off.
I don't think it will ever match up of 50-50. No. Because there are things that are intangible that a woman will bring to the home.
These are all default settings, but we all know that there are so many men out there who have higher earning ladies. Like your wife earns more.
Yes.
And so they will think that just because you earn more and she has disclosed, I've seen men neglect responsibility.
Of course.
Because the woman told him, oh, I earn this.
That's why, it goes back to how are you planning the finances. Like once you've discussed and, openly disclosed, then you also plan for those finances and see how you're going to, run the home based on those finances. Personally, I'm a believer in, if God gives me, say, maybe a salary increment, it's not my salary increment.
It's our.
It's our salary increment. Yeah. So if
Why
God,
so
if,
yeah?
if God has chosen to bless our family through me and probably elevates me to, I don't know, who knows, yeah, it will not be just for me, but it's our family. So when we talk about even percentages or who is contributing more, when we start having such conversations or when you have such thoughts, is when you find yourself in a space where, if maybe you're the woman who is contributing more, that's when issues of you feeling like
I am the man.
I'm the one who is paying the bills. It just
Rightly so.
What if he's the one paying? Should he also come at you like that?
Your
because
position
that
in
is
the
his
family.
divine position.
Yes, but does
He has been ordained to do that.
Yes.
But if I find myself taking care of the family, man, I am the man there.
Yeah.
Because okay, I don't want to be bad influence here.
We're just having a fruitful conversation.
Meanwhile, this whole revelation of earnings and what, surprisingly, most men do not subscribe to it.
Really?
Because most men, I'm telling you, most men, if they are to disclose, they will only disclose their salary earnings. They'll never tell you about the extra income they get. And you know what they do with those extra incomes? Don't ask me. I'm telling you the truth. This is what happens.
Well,
while the woman will fully disclose, men do not fully disclose their earnings.
So sometimes I have someone who had a bad experience. Okay, I wouldn't say like bad experience, but you see, the issue with not disclosing is when you find yourself in a situation whereby things have gone sour, and now this person, the woman or maybe the man, following your context, the woman who is supposed to comfort you and help walk with you through this journey where you made such a bad deal, doesn't know. Like suddenly you start changing.
I know, very moody.
But you've not told me. Yeah? So those are some of the disadvantages of non-disclosing. And
are you telling me about the bad deal or you're telling me about the money you've lost? Because they're different.
They are the same. Because you've lost money, now you've come back home a different person.
If you lose the money, it happens. Like you invest money, sometimes you lose it. But if you told me about it, you're like, babe, remember the other money that, I invested in this place. Man, things didn't go as well as I had hoped.
Thank you so much. At least you're bringing it into perspective. However, the few men that I've interacted with, couples have these conversations, guys. They'll tell you, a man will tell you, my goodness, I've gotten into this bad deal. But they will never tell you how much they've lost. While for you, when you get into a bad deal, you go into the details. And the devil is in the details.
I think it also goes back to character as well.
Yeah, I think it's...
Guys, for me, let me not even bore you into details. I will not disclose my earnings.
At all.
At all. And I don't even want to know what my man earns. All I care about is that whatever obligation that he has to do, his part, he does, I do mine. And I chip in as a helper.
And so what happens if he finds himself in a situation and he's not able to because you're sitting back waiting for him to meet his obligation?
He will tell me, honey, I'm not able to. But I don't think he will tell me, I need 10
so that's
million.
still financial transparency.
So what if he tells you that I'm not able to, but he's lying? Which
is almost all the time the case.
And now that's what I'm saying. For me, I feel like the basis of not disclosing is breeding trust issues from the very get-go. Like, I'm trusting you with... Yes. I'm trusting you with everything I am. I'm getting married to you. I'm giving you my body. I'm giving you... Like, why don't I just give you everything? You get?
one small thing.
So I know that usually it's used against us as women, because sometimes you plan for things together and God forbid anything goes south, you end up with nothing, and then sometimes you end up with the children. So I get why people wouldn't want to disclose. But why would I want to stay married to you if I can't tell you everything?
But also, this is a traditional thing, guys. When we are growing up, I have always had the thing of akasendekechkas. You know where that stems from? Money for the rainy days. Like, never, like, disclose, but
don't disclose everything.
Fully. Don't disclose fully. Have for the rainy days, because first of all, men are not good people.
Your children are not. Your boys are not good people.
So your boys will not turn out to be.
I will still tell my daughters-in-law keep a little money, because anything can happen.
No, I think there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you're not hiding it.
Yes, that's what I think as well.
And that is where the insecurity
the issue
starts
is
from.
with not disclosing. I mean, you said something about your spouse only knowing about the things that probably you're doing together. You know, when we talk about transparency, I'm not going to come and say, so by the way, you know, this circle I have with my friends, so this is how much I have saved so far. Like,
that is the transparency we're talking about.
Because now this is just savings. If I have told you maybe on a monthly basis, I do maybe like say 100, 150, 200. Now, I don't need to come back and constantly say, this is the updated balance. I can.
I'm not getting
you get
that anymore.
Like,
no, you've disclosed
in
that.
my ideal world, when I hear financial transparency,
Everything, even the interest on the unit trust.
Everything that pertains money, finances, budgeting, expenses, earnings, salary, whatever, name it, you disclose to each other mutually.
That's the ideal situation. But and for me, I had to learn this in my marriage. Yes, you enter marriage with the ideal, like, okay, some people are lucky that they can do it, you guys, have monthly budgets, clearly itemized meal plans. But some people are not able to do that. So it doesn't mean that, you know, just because you're not going into that
detail, yes,
that you're not like being transparent and open in your what? In your what we're talking about is saying, I'm not telling him how much I'm earning. Why should you know my salary? You know, that kind of attitude whereby you feel like you have something to hide. Actually, it's more like feeling like you have something to hide. That is the issue. Yeah.
Let me ask a question. So what would you do if you disclose but your partner does not disclose?
I wouldn't disclose. Why would I disclose when you're not disclosing?
Your disclosure is based on his disclosure.
We are a unit. We are going to be a unit. And you know, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of feelings attached to money.
Yes.
And when you don't disclose, it feels like you're depriving me of a section of your life.
Yes.
And so why would I want to get married to you again when you are withholding sections of parts of you that are very important, that are very vulnerable, and you're withholding it from me? Why would I want to be with you?
Sounds
you
good.
Get? So I feel like you don't have to go to the nitty-gritties of, okay, he will know that I'm saving a certain amount in a unit trust. I'm saving this amount every month. And it could be our fallback position as a family. So I don't have to keep coming back to you and say, hey, by the way, they gave us interest of 11% this year.
That is the transparency.
No, what if I don't? What if I forget? What if you get?
I mean,
it's not like I don't want to say it, but it just didn't cross my mind. You get? But you know that I'm saving there every month. So for me, my ideal would be that, because even if we are a unit as a family, there is individuality.
Thank you.
I am lady,
You're
I am,
Robinah before
yes,
being Mrs.
exactly.
whoever.
So as we are budgeting every month, okay, for me, in my opinion, we should be able to set aside money for you as an individual,
Yes.
for me as an individual, then for the family, so that nobody feels like there are things I can't do because now I have to call hubby. I want money for my hair.
Exactly.
No.
You guys, I have an example.
Mhm.
I know a guy,
Mm.
whenever his salary comes onto the account, the wife keeps the ATM. So what? There's another story.
You have so many stories. I have first finish
There
this
is a
one.
girl who posted on a WhatsApp group telling us what had happened to her.
Now you've shifted to another story. First tell us the other one.
Story number one.
Uh-huh.
That guy could never go out with any of us
Mm-hmm.
before calling the wife
For
for
money.
upkeep. Yes.
To ask for what? Permission? Money?
Money! To ask for money!
You guys.
I think that's a
That
bit
is the financial
extreme.
transparency.
No. We are not saying it in a
No.
toxic way.
Controlling.
No. If they had consented. They had consented that this is how we're going to run our family, apparently because the guy was not good with money.
Okay.
No,
Context.
that's okay.
That was the
Context.
background.
Exactly.
But now, okay, yes, the context, that is it. But I feel like for me to spend 10,000 to go out with my girls,
Context.
I have to call my husband because I'm not good with money. Money that I've not have worked.
No, by that time they must have decided and
Like the wife was a better custodian of the money.
Yeah.
Do you know that because he's not good at money, he can blow his money plus yours in like one night.
Yeah.
Guys,
But there are some
that is
contexts.
weird.
Maybe a better solution would have been like what
I'll
you
give
were
you some
saying.
individuality.
We come up with your budget and then you say maybe everyone your monthly.
There
allowance.
should be no accountability whatsoever for those ones. Yeah.
Story number 2.
Mm-hmm.
This girl, married man, eh? This girl gets wed by a married man.
Mm-hmm.
The married man does not have his money because the wife keeps the money. So they go out.
First tell us we laugh together with you.
No, we're not just giving it to like
They go out with the guy goes out with that chick, the one who was narrating the story.
Mm-hmm.
After having a meal, the guy calls the wife, please send money. The wife is not speaking. And the married man vanished from that date because the wife was not picking. Like,
So how
That
did-
is
how
toxic.
did she even know that the guy called and the wife did?
that guy told
So she knew he was
told
married.
the story. Yes.
Papa was.
Even date a married man.
Now this is Kampala. I'm up to everyone.
Aisha.
But these are things that happen.
You know when you put yourself in situations.
Yeah,
that
married
expose
men,
you.
men are serious. If you know your wife has the ATM, call in advance and ask for the money.
But even then,
You guys
Yeah.
subscribe to financial transparency. But that is how extreme it can get.
it doesn't have to be that extreme.
Yes, it doesn't have to, but some people take it that seriously.
Okay, I'll use as an example. When we had just started, figuring out how to manage our finances,
Mm.
one of the things that we, said was, like, we find money that we put on a joint account, to run like the family expenses. But as we started learning more and more about finances, first of all, I don't believe in leaving my money on a bank account.
Mm.
I would rather pull all the money out. Like I can have zero bank balance, but when I have some money saved somewhere, I really trust that's earning interest, as opposed to my money just reducing because of
Bank
bank
charges.
charges. So when we started like learning what our phone expenses are and things like that,
Mm.
we now started being like, okay, so we need to make this much towards rent, the payment is made, as opposed to now increasing those transactional expenses of getting money transferred to the other account. That's what works for us. I know some people still subscribe to, sending money to the account, but for us, we felt like that was what was better for us.
You guys even have a joint account.
Like I said, hard.
Woo.
Oh.
No longer.
So now we would rather invest jointly in things as opposed to leaving it like that's a different level of devotion.
But sincerely, I admire you guys because me, I don't like accountability.
It's
I
tough.
like to spend my money the way I want without asking or being asked.
And it's not that I am asked.
I know women who can't even walk into a shop and pick something that they like because they have to call.
No, that's the
No.
extreme and toxic level.
And for me, let me tell you that that day I learned about financial abuse in marriage is when I started to appreciate how we do things. Like for us, how we do it is his money is his money, my money is my money, his obligations are his, he takes care of our business, and I get to decide where I want to chip in.
Must be a rich girl.
No, I'm not. So I'm not, but like the thing is, this is what works for us.
Yeah,
And
just
I'm sure
saying.
if we decided to change goalposts and maybe adapt to another, we would maybe feel uncomfortable because that's not what we are used to.
So at what point does the family become a unit? Like
In other
for
things, not
example,
financial.
I see.
I feel like it's the biggest aspect.
No,
Because
first of all, the thing is you also have to have financial discipline.
definitely.
I'm not the kind that just blows money. I know how to regulate myself financial wise. Yeah. Okay.
So for example, anyway, just random thoughts in case you like want to buy land or
Those are capital things.
auntie.
Capital things.
Those are capital
are
investments.
his.
Oh, makes sense.
You get it? But then there are those small expenses that I would also feel like those ones I can handle. Well, we don't know. You can work on it.
Small things.
Those ones are for me. But
So when you talk about small things,
Do you know
I
they
mean,
can
like all capital things have to bear our names.
and yet it, I like being married, Banang.
So there's this scenario where someone was saying it's very easy to make the small things seem like small things. Like when you look at like the day-to-day, leave alone the capital purchases, which if we're being honest, those are not being done like, routine transactions.
Yes.
So how do you draw the line between feeling like the small things have now become a burden and he stops maybe buying groceries because those are small things.
But how?
He stops small things differ depending on people.
I know, context.
Absolutely.
They differ depending on people. So I think even saying small things, I believe there's nothing like small things when it comes to money. Every financial decision made is a major financial
one. I totally hear you. However, like first of all, if I was to look at my super example, we never had that conversation on finances.
Really?
We did not.
You just gelled in and everything just worked.
For us, there are so many things that we never talked about.
Would you
Interesting.
But now,
because there's no major issue we are facing. Like
the things just worked.
Yes, it just worked.
Nice.
Right? So
privilege.
I don't want no. It is not privilege. It's not privilege. However,
doesn't usually work like that. That's what I'm saying. Privilege.
No, like for Islam, and my husband is a Hajj, you guys.
So
for Islam, there are certain things you don't even have to have conversations about. It is well written. If someone subscribes to Islam, they know they're inherently passed on generations to generations through the religious teachings that they have.
Okay.
So a man is supposed to take care of his wife in Islam, whether they are broke, whether they are rich. And of course, you read the environment. As a wife, you're supposed to know your husband's financials, whether he says or not. You will notice that things are changing. That's
adjust your
standards
and expectations.
And as a wise woman, it has to be in you to read the environment. That you know what, now we have to adjust. Or even if you don't read the environment, read the clue.
But Aisha, we are not mind readers. I feel like you have to have the conversation, you guys. I feel like conversations, open communication saves us from a lot of gray areas. Because you're lucky that it's working perfectly for you. But there's an instance where it doesn't work. Of the woman ends up bearing the burden of running the home, which is not small.
Then you should speak.
Auntie, now that's the thing. I don't have to
Don't
read
wait
cues.
for-
If you're not okay, like speak up. By the way, you know me, I'm just learning how to like express myself fully. I used to avoid uncomfortable conversations, but that's where gray things, like gray areas are cleared out, is either white or black. You get? Because if you don't have these conversations, you start cooking up things in your head. Of these things you're telling us, read cues. You will read wrong cues, and then
It's important to read the cues.
it's important to read the cues. I agree, but it's also important to have open communication. Like if I cannot, like me, I feel like you have to even agree on some things at the beginning. That's what I'm saying. For you, you are lucky things are working, but sometimes it's not the case. So it's better to sit down, spell out your expectations. He also spells out his expectations, and then you find a middle ground. Like either he agrees to how you would like to handle things, or you find some middle ground. Because I feel like if you leave a lot of things to be imagined, people can imagine different things. You can build things in your head of like, he's going to take care of rent. Then 3 months later, things are not taken care of. He's going to take care of the capital things.
But these are
Then you
things.
end up not, you 5 years later, there's no land, there's no house, there's no, you get.
Okay, let me ask a question. What if you already know about his earnings? There was that conversation. He tells you, I earn this much. You know, and yet still things are not happening. You know he earns 5 million. He's not taking care of the home. He's not doing any capital purchases either. Do you realize that still communication?
That's why you,
So communication is key, whether there is financial transparency or,
or not.
So for me, what I've realized is if you notice that this person has not taken care of their business, they are not giving you money for home stuff, you speak as an adult of like, you guy, look here, you're supposed to do A, B, C, D. I don't want to know about your money. Otherwise, I'm not going to take care of your business when you should if you've not spoken to me about how things are not doing well. I don't want to hear the details. I don't want to hear them.
You just want the
to
things
see
done.
You want
Exactly.
results.
Yes.
You want to see results. But you see, that's why it's important to have the conversations, to be open about situations. But of course, you know, with time you learn that there are certain conversations that may not be easy for men to have. And that's where, you know, what you were saying about, you know, reading the environment, knowing your person, and knowing that, you know, when things are good, this is, you know, usually the pattern. And when we go into this pattern, then most likely
It's about
something is,
finances.
you know, not going so well. And if he's not, you know, like communicating, don't sit and be like, boyfriend, tell me. No. Reach out. Be like, okay, so babe, you know, how are things? Like, is everything okay? Because they're also human beings. Sometimes they just need someone to know that, you know, someone is, you know, there for them and trying to find out how they're doing, supportive and all those things. So
I agree with you, and I've realized as an adult that you see how women struggle with infertility and feel so bad about it, beat themselves down. That's how men feel when they can't protect and provide for their families. So these conversations, as much as I would want to have them, I want to leave that vulnerability for my man. Of like, if he's not volunteer to give me this information, it's okay.
but I think, you know, when you brought in the context of infertility, the same way you would want him to support you on that journey when the things are not coming in the time you expected them to come, and to support you and be like, you know what, when the right time comes and God blesses us with our child, we shall have the child. Don't beat yourself up. That is the self-support you're supposed to give him when the finances are not flowing in as they should.
I I feel like it takes levels because there are so many times that you don't want to have someone asking you about things like you just want.
Of course, don't get to the
Solid.
nagging.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, don't be nagging.
Nah,
Has the
that's
money now
solitude.
come?
Like, thank you. How are things now? Like,
Are they getting better?
Exactly. So,
Like, there's a skill to it. There's a skill to it.
I agree with you.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about the marriage bit so much, but I want to take us back a bit to before you get married. Yeah. So at what point, and do you at what point do you think, as a couple courting, as a couple that is dating, should you merge your assets together and
Where we?
Merge.
When I'm dating.
No, you see the
future is getting
and,
brighter.
Chances are high that you're going to get married. Maybe you've met each other's families. Is that a good time to when you sign certificates
Exactly.
and you're legally married? Thank you. Is when you can put the things together. You
That
can
we
only
all
disclose,
agree.
yes.
Thank you.
You can only disclose at the beginning, but once you sign
Sharon.
the certificate, is when you can put them together.
Sharon.
Yeah. So disclose.
Whether you
but
have seen
join
that
together in marriage.
family. By the way, I feel
Or
like
consider joining together, because clearly.
even the consideration, you are single
No, I'm saying after marriage.
after marriage. Yeah,
Yeah.
after marriage you can
You
have
can
that
consider.
conversation.
But you guys, do you know that sometimes when you're hiding your finances from your partner, you might be hiding a lot more? Me, I would get worried when my partner is not telling me things, telling me financial things, because what else are you hiding?
Even the woman, they could also
Uh-huh.
some.
Even the woman.
Because when you hide money, that means that she could be financing a different lifestyle.
Thank
that I
you.
don't know about. But let me ask, hiding. I'm keeping my money.
You're
What
not
is it
hiding
hiding?
it.
I laugh, but let me tell you,
Mm.
to avoid all that fracas and the conversations, that let people disclose what they are comfortable disclosing. Because honestly,
And
almost 80%
mm,
of men out there are disclosing. But I tell you, a very critical mass of women out there, they're not. So we are actually holding men to a high standard, but we aren't for the women. Because apparently a woman, it's okay. Because you're not the sole provider for the home. You only chip in whenever. You don't get to disclose. But that only breeds resentment.
It does.
It does.
It
So
does.
let's balance it up. If you choose that for you, what will work for your marriage is disclosure. Let all of you fully disclose.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that's my parting shot for this.
Those are the things that make some men call us needy. Eh?
Needy?
Yes.
Do you remember needy?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I think it's really important that if you want to hold someone to a certain level of standard, then you should also be willing to
match up.
match
Yeah.
up to that standard as well. And I mean, you shared so much about the importance of transparency. At what point do you share that information? How much do you share? Regardless of what you're willing to share, the most important thing is, getting to know your partner. And I mean, are they the kind that want to know? Are you the kind that wants to share? When you know each other and understand each other, then it helps you to know how to navigate the conversation. And it's never too late to have the conversation. Whether you're just dating, whether you're courting, whether you're already married, there's always time to have the conversation. And if you've had it before, reevaluate, like, okay, so our circumstances have changed. What do we now need to do better? How do we plan for our family? And yeah, we hope that we shall all learn to be more transparent.
We want to live in a world. For me, I want to live in a world where I am able to be transparent, and you're transparent as well. That's the ideal.
Exactly.
Movies.
Yeah. So we hope that you learned something from this episode, and that you actually enjoyed it as well as much as we did, and
We did.
that you had a laugh like we did. If you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Thank you for all the support. Continue to share.
We don't take that for granted.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have friends who tell us that, oh, by the way, there's this group I'm in and I saw your video being shared.
Woo! You're the MVPs.
We love that.
I know. So thank you so much. And thank you to HQ Media that shot and produced today's episode. Until next time,
Bye-bye.